So hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and this is the lecture 2 of our Python course, and I hope every one of you completed the lecture 1 before coming to the lecture 2, because I have discussed most of the basics that you need to clear about why you need to learn Python and what are the fundamental backgrounds of the computer science and how does a computer work. So if we get into a small recap of what we have done yesterday. So first of all, we have understood that a computer is just a machine. It has two components, majorly software and hardware, and it is fast but mindless. So it is machine which just stores data, manipulates it, does some processes, and gives us back a different modified data or the exact data as whatever however we like. Okay, it transforms in the form of data in the form of bits and bytes, and bits are nothing but they are switches that are 1 or 0. You know the deep mechanism of what is happening behind it. We are not gonna repeat it. So everything is just another layer above it. At the deepest root level, everything is just 0 and 1 in the computers. So we just use our programming languages so that we can communicate with the computer to make this process possible, and as we cannot communicate with the computer directly, and there are two possibilities which we can do that. There are some languages which are compiled, some which are interpreted. So the language which we are learning, Python, it is an interpreter language. So if you talk about what is Python, Python is a way we can communicate with language, with the computer, is a language with which we can communicate with the, I'm sorry. So let us get back onto it. And if we talk about Python, it is a language which can communicate with the computer. And we talk C Python, which compiles into the bytecode, it is known as the interpreter. So we need to know which Python we are talking about. We just say Python. Python is something that we humans write, and there's another Python in the background which does the process, right? So uh, in today's lecture, we are going to install Python in your device, and then we are gonna know where we write our Python code. What is our environment? Is it going to be a text edit or a simple text edit or something else? And what are the different ways we can run code? I mean, we will write our code, we will communicate with the computer about what we want, but can we see if the computer did it or not? So we can see that in an output, right? And we will be getting into the syntaxes, basic syntaxes. We will be beginning with the some basic syntaxes, and we'll be setting up your IDE also. So, and let us start getting with installing Python. So when we are installing Python, the Python we are installing is C Python. As you know, there are two Pythons. One Python is that we write. It just needs an extension .py file that we'll be doing in the file or IDE or anything. It just needs an .py extension. But if we want to really communicate with the computer and know what it does and communicate with the computer with Python, we need C Python, the interpreter, which really translates what we wrote into bytecode and then directly into the machine level and communicates with the computer at the deepest roots. So for that we need to install the interpreter. So I want all of you to go to your browser and search Python download. So whatever operating system you have, Windows or Mac, you just visit this website python.org /download. You will get the latest version of the Python for your operating system. I have a Mac, and see, you can see Linux, Mac, Android, or anything. You can download it from here. After downloading from here, you will just go to your terminal. I'm sorry. Just go to your terminal and type a command which I will be showing you. Okay, I'm sorry, in some computers we need to type python 3 slash version. I hope it comes. See, there is a python 3.313.7. That is my python. So it validates that I have python installed in my computer and it has a this version. So you install python in your system and then go to your terminal and check whether it is installed or not, so that it will give a valid version number of the python installed in your device. And then let's close the terminal and all these tabs. So now you have now that you have installed python in your device, next what do we where do we write our python? So we have a text edit, right? We have simple text edit where we can write notes or anything. We can just type here, we can write here python. But is it good? Right? Okay, we can write our code here, but it's not very good place to write code. So that's the place where we get an IDE. What is an IDE? It is an environment where we can write different programming languages, and we have a lot of advantages that we can use. We have different extensions are something that some modifications that we can make to our code. Instead of feeling it as a simple text, we will get some suggestions and some recommendations of errors, some notifications and all, and so that it becomes good while you code and it is efficient rather than writing on a simple text edit, right? That is why we will be using an IDE. So IDE is nothing but a coding environment which has advantages in simple ways. So we will be using, most of the people use VS Code, some use PyCharm, and there are many text editors. So we will be using Visual Studio Code. So go to your browser and search VSC download. You'll get it. See, Visual Studio download, Visual Studio Code download. Click there, and then you'll get a download page. And the same way, according to your software, you just download it. If you have Windows and according to your bits, and I have a Mac, and if you have an older Mac, you need to download the Intel chips, and if you have a new Mac, you will be downloading the Apple Silicon chip. Okay, and if you want, you can also download a universal version. You will just download from here, and then you will get into the installation, and then now you will open your Visual Studio Code, right? This is the Visual Studio Code. After you open your Visual Studio Code, it should look like this. I mean, your color may look a little different, and it should look like this. So now we will be opening a new file. So see, so when you want to code, you need to have files, right? The data is stored in each file. To organize it better, instead of randomly storing data, our computer stores in chunks, in files. You need to create a file for each specific requirement, right? In each file you specify what type of data is coming in. So when we are writing Python, we mention it that this is Python, you need to work with Python. And then when we keep .py, so whenever we have a file name, after the file name we put a dot and the extension, which data is it. If it is simple text, we keep txt. If it is in programming language, we keep the programming language name, short name, which will be universal and standard, of course. And for images, videos, etc. Like for music, it is mp3. For all kinds of videos, sometimes it's mp4, it's .mov, depending upon the its type. So you can open an already if you have a file which you have already created, you can open that, or you can create a new file. So let us see how to create in the best way. Go to your desktop and create a new folder so that you can access all of it in the future use cases. So click I will use it VS Code for Python YouTube course, right? I'll do it like this. So you'll create a new folder in your home page, right? And then you'll go to VS Code. You can just open that file from desktop here, VS Code for Python YouTube course in Mac. If you have a Windows, you can just directly right click on this and just open. You'll get an option here like open with, here we got open, right? There you'll get an option open with VS Code. You can open in that way too. And then once we open that, you can create your Python file, right? It will come like this. See here in the right side you have all the open text files. This looks a little new for you, I know that. I think for you guys this explorer right here, file we call this file explorer I'm sorry, this will be in the left side. These options will be on the left side. Okay, so here we have an option open editors right here, and we have VS Code for Python YouTube course. This was our folder. In that we can create, if you zoom at this, you see, if you zoom at this, there is an icon to create a new file, right? Here in this way we can create a new file, or you can also create a new file, just new folder or any folders you want, just before in the desktop only. Okay, so here we will create a new file, lecture1 dot py. It needs to know that it is Python. See, immediately as we see, lecture1 is the name of the file, dot is telling the computer that anything that comes after this dot is not the name, but it will be used to identify the extension, the type of the data that we are providing, right? So now let's do a little, yeah. Now, so this will how our file will look like in Python. See, this is the symbol of Python. This is the symbol of Python. This is the symbol of Python. Okay, now let us write our first code. So before we write our first code, I hope everyone has been comfortably able to follow till here. And now there are two ways. Once we write our code, we know that the code needs to be interpreted, right? It needs to be parsed. So it can happen in two ways. You can always process your code in two methods. Either you can directly talk to the deal with the C Python, where each line you need to give commands and you need to process it directly. You can do that in terminal, or you can do that in terminal. Of course, you will have your desktop terminal, and in VS Code also we will have a terminal space where we can deal. See, here we have terminal. In this we use commands, and we always parse or process our Python code. That is a bit very lengthy, right? We need to always do that for each and every command. And the another method is that we write all of our code in a file format, and we can just execute it quickly, all at a time. I mean, in the underlying cause it will go line by line, but what we're saying is that we don't need to do it many times mechanically. It's a little less effort is required for that, right? So if we want to write our first Python code, so let me do something like this. I'll start with printing something, right? If you want the computer to show some output, you will use print statement, right? You will write print. See, The advantage of Visual Studio Code or any code editor, you can see it is giving recommendations, right? See, when I write PR, it is giving you print. Okay, this cube shows that it is a syntax. What is syntax? So I think if any person had doubt that yesterday I was telling syntax, but you don't know what syntax is. But if you don't know what syntax is something like standard things that you have in a programming language which will command it, right? So print is a standard command which is encoded in Python. So we have a print, and the way you can use print is, see, if you click on this, it is showing the how print function works. Print is a function, actually. Print is a standard function. It is a standard method. See, in math we have functions, right? For example, x square. If you keep 2 in x square, you get 4. It will take 2 square in the space of x, in the place of x you put 2, so it will process 2 square. It is a function. You give it an input and it will give you an output. The process it is doing in between is squaring, so it is a square function. So similarly, this is a print function. Whenever you give some input to it, the input here we're talking about is something that you are typing inside the print statement. I'll tell you how to do it. It will give you an output, right? So the syntax is how you write standard commands. You put a parenthesis, right? You open it and close it, right? Print parenthesis. You can print anything you want inside this parenthesis, and that will be shown to the output. So I will print my date of birth, 13, right? 13th of September. I'll just run it. Yeah, see, so we have to always run the Python file. As I said you, we run the code. For the code we always need to use a command, and for Python file it will all take the Python file all in once and run it at a time, line by line, right? So when I printed 13, it printed in the output. See, you just don't get confused here. It is showing where the file is located. The file is located inside users, inside Praveen. So we created the folder in desktop, the VS Code for Python YouTube course folder, and then we have this lecture1.py file. The slash is that shows that it is a subfolder, right? It is a subfolder, and this is the output we have here, 13, right? 13, and then it shows our device name and the folder name. Next, so we printed a number. How to print text? See, in Python or any language, when we are dealing with computers, there are different types of data, and there are methods how we deal with data, right? For numbers, for text, for characters, and for different types of numbers, for integers, for positive numbers, for decimal numbers, and etc., we deal them quite bit differently. So when we are dealing with text, we call them strings. So when we are dealing with strings, we need to mention the computer that it is a string, and what they have coded to mention that it is a string is, we need to keep these quotes. These are known as double quotes. These are known as quotes. These are single quotes. I'm sorry, these are single quotes. These are double quotes. Let me just zoom in so that you would understand. I'm so sorry. See, here is these are double quotes. So when you mention double quotes or single quotes, you are telling the Python that it is a string. So we will mention that we are going to write a string, and we are going to write hi. I'm sorry. Hi, I'm writing or maybe typing my first line of code in Python, right? And now let us run it. Run Python file. See, we got it. Hi, I am typing my first line of code in Python. This is printed to the output. So this is how we use a print statement in Python, right? Now let us print something else, right? We can print a combination of both a number and a text. Yes, we can. So we will type it like, we will just type the number, we'll put a comma, print 5, and then you just like, let's write my date of birth is so when I need to type my date, when my date of birth is, and you put a comma, it's 2006, right? We put another comma. So whenever you change the data type, you need to put a comma so that you're changing the data type, right? Is 2006 September. Let us see. We'll print this. See, my date of birth is 2006 September. There are a lot more ways which we can print this in a better way. We don't need to use commas. Sometimes we can just use f strings and print however we like, because a thing that happens is, remember, whenever you keep a comma in print statement, right, you will get a space. This space does not matter here. Even if you remove the space here, even if you remove the space, you will get a space here after is, and after 2006 we have put a comma, right? See, this is a slight difficulty which I faced during my first time. See, even if you put a comma, see, this is the older output, this is the older output, this is the new output that we have gotten now. They both are same, they both have spaces after is, they both have spaces after 2006. The reason is that the Python interpreter does not care if you keep spaces inside the print statement. All it cares is that, is there a comma, then I'll keep a space after that, right? It is just standard rules which were set. The person who coded Guido van Rossum or some, I don't know, whatever it is. Okay, clear terminal. Okay, we have cleared it. Now if you see, we have two print statements, and if we run this file, we are getting the both of the print statements. We printed one statement up and it got printed, we printed the next statement and it got printed below, right? So it went a line down. Why not print here? So for that we can change something called, we can put a comma and we can put end is equal to space. If we put space, by default, you see what happens. You see what happened. Let me just show you clearly. What happened is that, hi, I am typing my first line of code in Python. It was still here. We said earlier, when there is nothing of the, when we did not mention the end for the print statement, it had a default command to go to the next line. But what we have said that is end the print statement with just a space. So it ended with a space, right? Next, the interpreter went to the next line. See, as we said, how will the interpreter parse the code? It goes line by line. See, in the first line, it said to the interpreter, bro, print this thing and then end it with a space. Okay, I printed this thing and ended with a space, and then it went to the next line, then then print this thing. I printed it, that's it. In the previously, if there is nothing like this, it will just say print this line and then click and enter like this, it will enter and then print the next statement, right? So similarly, if you, so we can change the end statement, we can change the separation and all that comes in the overall syntax of the print function. There are many standard functions like this, and we'll be discussing all of the syntaxes. So for now, this is about the print statement. And now this is to give output. And what about if we want to take an input from the user? So for that we have input function. See, we are getting a standard syntax. These are also known as keywords. What are keywords? We'll be discussing it later. Keywords are nothing but the standard words that are fixed to a programming language, right? For example, if you talk for in and all, there are some standard words which are reserved to the programming language, which it detects for its commands, right? So input, we need to use same parenthesis. These brackets are known as parenthesis, right? You need to put parenthesis input, and it will just ask for an input. See, let us run. See, here we are trying for something, right? Here it is, there is a box here, it is asking for an input. So let us try, let us store this input in something. Let us store in X. You don't know what I'm doing, I know that, just listen. Print X, right? Run Python file. Now it is asking for input. Let's click 15. See, it printed it. It printed 15. It took 15 as I typed it, as it took an input from me, and then it gave an output of 15, right? How? So you might have gotten a little bit confused here, but let's just remove it. It comes in variables and storing data and all. So for now, this is how you use print and input. Input is nothing but it just works to take an input from the user. Print statement gives an output. Input takes an data from the user, right? So yeah, we have known different types, different ways to run code. We can run it in file and just parse it, or we can directly give command to the terminal, which is which takes a lot of effort. I mean a little more effort. And we've talked about print and input statements, I mean functions. And then we are going to talk about comments in Python. What are comments? See, let's get into comments. So now how does the interpreter come? It goes to the first line. They are saying me to print, okay, whatever comes after the parenthesis in print, I will print it. Okay, I am printing this, printing this, printing this, printing this. Okay, parenthesis is closed. Okay, I don't need to print anything after this. Okay, in background there's something other thing happening. There are some standard separation and end commands that needs to be specified inside the print function. If they are not specified, then there is nothing called as separation, and end is defaultly tells it to click and enter after finishing the print statement. So okay, I have printed this, there is no default statement, so I will enter default. It will enter, and then it will go to the, I mean here it will not enter, here in the output it will enter. So it will go to the next line, it will go print. Okay, I need to print something inside the left parenthesis. Okay, I will print this, I am printing this. Okay, it is over, there is a comma, so I need to click a space and I need to print 2006. Okay, I need to give a space and I need to print September. When you are printing this, it will print whatever is inside these double quotes. Okay, it is a string, I need to print this string. Okay, I have printed it. Okay, I will, after it sees the comma, okay, I will put a space, I will print 2006, like that. It goes that way. Okay, I hope you have understood how the interpreter works in the deepest level. So now, if you want the interpreter to not read that line, I mean, if you have, let's assume you have a 5,000 lines of code and you need to specify, like you're writing something, a huge logic, and you want someone else when he is reading your code to understand your code. Like you have a friend and you're developing an app, and you want him to read your code to check if it's right, if the logics are good, if the features are good, and what's the quality of your code. And when he's reading and you want him to understand something, so when my friend, for example, my friend name is Roger. So Roger, please check this code section. So I'm telling like this. If you have noticed, till now we were getting a little blue color for the standard keywords, I mean standard functions which the interpreter can detect. And for strings it was showing green color, and for numbers, for number data, it used to show purple color. But all of this is in white color. Why? Because the interpreter is not reading it. We have put a hashtag. This is known as comments. When you want the interpreter to not read a line of code, so it will come from line 2, line 1, line 2. When it comes to line 3, there is a hashtag. As soon as it sees a hashtag, it directly skips that line. It does not care whatever is in this line. Only in line 3. Immediately when you go to line 4, it starts reading again. Okay, so that was comments. So now what is syntax error versus runtime error? First of all, what is error? What is error, right? What is an error? Of course, in real life too, we have a lot of errors that keep happening to us. So whenever you type something which the interpreter can't understand, it is a syntax error, right? For example, instead of print, if I type print, see, it is giving something. See, it is showing, underlining that something is wrong, something is fishy. Print is not defined. This is the advantage of text editor. You get errors, you get shown what errors you're writing, right? So you need to write print. So but if you write print and run the file, run Python code, see, it can't even run it. It does not know what is print. The interpreter does not know what print is. It knows what print is, right? This is known as syntax error, which cannot run. It will give you a syntax error. But what is runtime error? Which are logical, which can be done but does not make any sense. For example, print 5 divided by 0. Okay, I'm sorry, you don't know what divide symbol is. So generally in general maths, divide is like this, in Python or in any programming languages, divide is this slash, forward slash. Okay, by 0. If you run this code, will it run? Let's see. See, this is a runtime error. So it will print it, and while printing it, it will try to calculate this value 5 divided by 0. Division by 0 is not possible. You are asking that, what does division mean? So for example, 4 by 2, what does that mean? In the denominator there is 2. How many times do I multiply 2 so that I can get 4, right? 4 divided by 2 means that how many times do I multiply 2 so that I can get the numerator 4. 4 by 2, 4 divided by 2 is 2. That means if you multiply the denominator by 2 times, you will get 4. So now here asking, we are getting 5 divided by 0. So what's the question? You are asking, how many times do I multiply 0 so I can get 5? Is that possible? No. How many times do you multiply 0 so that you'll get 5? Even if you multiply 5 times, 5 zeros are 0. Infinite zeros are 0. Anything is 0. So you can't get something positive by multiplying anything with 0. So it's not possible. So division by 0 is never possible. It's mathematically impossible. So that is why this is a logical error which gives you a runtime error, right? So I hope you have understood the difference between syntax error and runtime error. Okay, so as I have mentioned before, let us practice some questions. So here we have a question to print the full date of birth in hyphen separated format. Okay, so we need you to print your date of birth in hyphen separated format. Okay, I mean, like for example, like if my date of birth is 13th of September 2006, so I need to print 13/09 2020, sorry, 2006 to the output. How can you print this, right? So try this in 2 minutes, and I'm gonna tell how. So okay, we are going to print. Of course we need to print it to the output, so we must have print. So one thought that I can get is, if I need to type that, I'll just type that. I'll just take a string and just I'll print the 13/09 and just 2006. It will print it to the output. See, it has printed it. But what if a user, so let's upgrade it, take day, month. Okay, that will be a little complex. I think that would need your variables and storing into them. We'll take it later. We'll take it in the next class. So okay, we can print it like this. We can print like taking a string, or we can do another thing. We can do 13 is our day. We can put a comma. Whenever we put a comma, we generally get space, but instead of space we need to have a hyphen. Why do we get a comma? Because it is the default separation. See here, for separation, when there is nothing is given, none, you put a space in the separation. In the end, when you end the print statement, when nothing is given, you put a /n. So if you don't know \n, what \n means, \n is a command that is used, is a character. It is a character which tells the interpreter to go to the next line, to click and enter. Okay, \n. Remember this very carefully. It is very important. Let me just tell you. So you put a comma, we put our month, we have put our year, and now what we will say is separation will be a hyphen. Done. Now let us see what will be the output. Okay, this is a syntax error, I guess. I'm very sorry. Leading zeros and decimal integer literals are not permitted. Okay, we can't print with 0. We can't lead with zeros in decimal integers. Okay, we'll just put 9th month from the Python file. So now we've got 13/9/2006. Okay, so instead of putting a default separation of comma, we have changed the separation into a hyphen. This is just how you take the print statement. So program to take person's age and print to them. So first we need to take the person's age and print it. What can we do? If we need to do this without taking variables and storing it down, can we do it? Let me try. we cannot use in that way. Okay, let's do this question in the tomorrow's lecture, where we'll be taking about the storage into variables. Okay, so for now we will doing some other questions, right? We will be doing some conceptual questions, right? So what does this print? We have print A, B, C, separation and end both mentioned. So we don't need to see when separation and end are not mentioned. What do we need to do? When they are not mentioned, separation is when we have a comma, the separation is space. When the end is not mentioned, the default end is getting into a new line. Click in a enter by default. Right, now we print A first. We print A. Let me just take you to the VS Code. Right, so this is our code, right? So I will tell you what the output might be. So we have first printed A. So interpreter started here printing. Okay, I need to print something. Okay, there is this parenthesis. Okay, I need to print something starting from here. So what do I need to print first? Okay, there is a string that I need to print. So that string is A. Okay, it is closed here itself. Okay, I need to print A. Okay, I have printed A. Then it went. Okay, there is a comma. So one thing is over. So I'm going to the next thing. There's a space. Okay, it won't consider the space. When there is a comma, okay, what is the separation? The separation, it will go to the separation where there is a separation keyword. Okay, I'm sorry. Where there is a separation keyword, it will go to separation. What is the separation? Here we have filled nothing. See, when you say separation equal to two double quotes, you have filled nothing inside. If you have filled something inside, this VJHBF, VKJHB is the separation. Here we have filled nothing. That means there is no separation. So there is no separation. Okay, next I'll go to the next thing. Okay, this is a string. Inside there is B. Okay, the string is closed. So that is B. Okay, I will print B. Done. Then put a comma. Same. Separation is nothing. Okay, then next to the went to the next string. Okay, it is C. Okay, I will print C. Next. Okay, separation. There is no separation. There is this separation command and there is the end command. Okay, we have completed the print statement. We came to the end of it. Okay, the end is a exclamatory mark. An exclamatory mark. Okay, done. And the print is closed. Okay, this print is ended. So the interpreter went to the next print as it already ended. In this print there is a capital D and it is closed. Okay, a capital D. So the output must be this. If you got the same thing, so I hope you're stopping and just thinking yourself. Okay, I'm telling the answer directly, but you should be attempting this by yourself. Okay, let us see the answer. We got A, B, C, D, exclamatory D without any spaces because there is no separation, right? So the first answer is right because there is wrong. The first answer is wrong because there are separations between A and B. That doesn't make any sense. Here it is saying then new line, ABC exclamatory, but then new line. No, new line wouldn't come because here the end is itself exclamatory, right? And ABC then exclamatory D. No, nothing makes sense. The answer should be B. Is this right? Yes. Yes. So next, we are in the second question. What is the data type returned by the input? Always, regardless of what the user types. Remember, this is a thing that you need to remember. The data type returned by input is always and always string. If you want to change it, if I type 26, it will always be considered as a string. It will be stored as a string. we have to later change it to we have to typecast it. Typecast means changing the data type of the stored data deliberately. We need to change the string into input or into float. A float is something which is decimal type of number. We need to change it deliberately afterwards, but input is always in a string data type. Okay, see, input is always returning a string. Even if the user types 25, you get a string, right? Oh, I'm sorry. So here it is asking another question. Age is equal to, so this is a type of storing into variables. Let's discuss this later. Okay, this is another question. What does this print? Okay, let us discuss this question. Try this on yourself, try this on your own. Okay, this is the second question. Yeah, so we have, so how do you think this question? Think like an interpreter. Think yourself as an interpreter, right? Go print. Okay, I will print score. Okay, I will print score. There is a score here, a variable score, a string score. Okay, I have printed it. Next, I have a comma. When there is a comma, you need a separation, and there is no separation mentioned, so that will be a default space, right? And then the print statement is over, and you have mentioned that there is no end. Okay, end is over. Okay, the print statement is closed. I went to the next line. Okay, there is a print statement, that means I need to print something. Okay, there is a string, I need to print something which is inside string. Okay, I have printed 100, and then it is, the string is closed. Okay, and there is nothing else than 100, and the print statement is also closed. There is no separation because there are nothing else, only the 100. Okay, and there is no end mentioned, so I'm here and there is no end mentioned, so I need to click a default next line. This is how the interpreter will end at the end of this program, right? I hope you have got it right, every small thing that the interpreter does. Next, so here it is asking what is printed here. So let us take this. So here we have this third question. Okay, think like an interpreter, try it yourself. Okay, I hope you have tried. So print. Okay, I need to print something. The first thing, I need to print an X. Okay, I printed an X. Okay, there is a comma, that means there is something else coming, so I need to look for the separation. What is the separation? Separation is a \n. I have told you, my friends, \n is a command. It is a character, but it commands the interpreter to click and enter. Okay, so the separation is enter, so interpreter will click and enter, not a space, and enter. It will go to the next line. So now it will search, a string is there and a y is there. I will print it, and the separation is an enter, and then it clicked z, and then there is, and the print statement is over, and there is no end mentioned here. The default end is next line, so it will click another next line, and then it will end there. The program will end right there, right? This question is over. See, x, y, z is the answer. So what is the output here? Okay, something cool. When you type print and just leave it and type, what was there? Print hello. What will you get here? So you are telling the interpreter to print something. Okay, I need to print something, but there is nothing inside the print statement, so it will not print anything. It will just skip and go to next line. We're discussing about this. It started here, it will go to the next line and print hello. That's it. Answer is B, a blank line and then hello. That's right, my friends. So we will just print a blank line because it does not print anything, and then but the end will have a new line, right? So it will print a blank line here and then go to hello, right? And then again it will click the cursor, right? Because here there is a default end for the backslash n, right? Yeah. So next, so Claude is saying that this is the trickiest one. So let us see if we can do it or not, right? So try this question on yourself. Give it 5 minutes or 2 minutes. You should be able to do it in 2 minutes, right? So let us see what the trickiest question has. Let us clear all of this, right? Okay. Name is Sam. I think you will not be understanding this deeply. Let me just tell you in short. See, whenever you are assigning a value to a variable, see what this the left side thing is called something as variable, and the right side thing is called data. So when you are putting an equal to, they are not equal. In math, equal is different, and in coding, the equal is different. When you are putting an equal in coding, it is assigning. So now you store Sam in a container named name. In a container name, there is a box name. In that you are storing Sam. That's it. This is a variable. See the info that is giving. It is a variable and it is name. Okay, and it has a value stored inside it as Sam. That's it. And we are printing. Okay, now what will the interpreter do? Okay, there is a container. I need to create a container. Just let me just take you to the yeah. Okay, the interpreter was, see, there is a, and just put it in a good clarity for you. Right. Okay, let's just, yeah, we have this, right? Now what will the interpreter do? First it will get here. Okay, I have something, a variable, a container named name. Okay, I need to take a container. That container is name. Okay, name. Sorry for my handwriting. I have my pen tab left over here. You need to store Sam here. It is a string. You need to store Sam here. Okay, good. I have stored it. Okay, now next I need to print it. I have to print. Okay, I am printing something. Okay, I need to print hi. Okay, I printed hi. Okay, there is a comma, so I need to search for separation. Okay, I went to separation. There is a underscore. This is not hyphen, it is an underscore. Okay, I need to put an underscore. Okay, then I have the separated. Then we have a name. What is stored inside name? Sam. Sam is stored. Capital S, by the way. Capital S. Okay, then we have a comma. Okay, after name we have a comma, which gives you, what does comma give you? It gives you an underscore, right? It gives you an underscore, and then we need to print another string which is a hyphen. Okay, and then another comma which gives you an underscore, and then we have a welcome exclamatory mark, and then we end it with a full stop, right? That was the answer. So let us check it with Claude. I mean the answer. So what was our answer? Here there is no full stop. That's not the answer. I guess we have A with us, right? I'm sorry, it is in the same thing. Hi underscore Sam underscore hyphen underscore welcome dot. That's the A option. Let us see the answer. Yes, the answer is right. It is option A. Next, what does print result 5 plus 3 separate space equal to space output. Okay, let us take this to VS Code. So let us just check this if you are confused. See hi underscore Sam underscore hyphen underscore welcome exclamatory full stop, right? Just get rid of this. Right, now we have this print result. Okay, first I need to print something. Okay, I need to print result hyphen score I need to print result. Then I need to put separation, which is the separation is space equal to space. Okay, I've done that. And then after this separation I need to print the value of 5 plus 3. So I need to print the value of 5 plus 3, that is 8. Now you may have a doubt, if I have a comma here, then that does mean it is separating. No, the comma, if the comma is between two separate entities, here is 8 is an entity and result is an entity, this comma is just to specify the separation and ending, so that wouldn't give you another separation. Oh, all right, I hope you understood. This would be the output, right? Let's just see if that is what we will get. Yeah, that's exactly what we got. Okay, so I guess this is it, and I have some coding questions for you. You can take a screenshot of this, and if you have any doubts, we will be discussing, we will be opening the next lecture with these questions only. We will try to answer them. Okay, just take the screenshots of this 4 questions. Fourth question, take a screenshot of it. And then 5th question. Okay, tomorrow just, so I hope you guys will complete all these 5 questions, 5 coding questions as you got. I will be discussing them tomorrow, and I guess this is it. So yesterday's lecture was a lot about the technicals, how computers work, and deep fundamentals, which was a little far away from Python. So today we have just done the basics of installation and setting up your system, and just a little bit taste of coding and all. I hope you have liked it. If you have any doubts, please care to comment down, and if you want any improvisation in the lectures or anything in the video quality, I'll just do it. And in tomorrow's lecture we will start with all the syntaxes, how we store variables, how we store data, and how we print them, all the syntaxes in a deeper level, and we will come with a bunch of questions, right? So I hope you have enjoyed this lecture, and thank you. Let's meet in the lecture 3, which will be rolled out tomorrow.